Can we have a moment for Neil Patrick Harris and Trump's new hatred for bridges? Like, okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Can We Have a Moment? I am your host, Adam Carroll, and today we're talking about Donald Trump's new obsession with bridges and also Neil Patrick Harris being a bit of a coward. A little bit. So, there is a bridge that was built from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, which, by the way, everyone on like the news seems to call it Windsor, Canada. It's Windsor, Ontario, in the country of Canada. Like, I don't say Detroit, United States. I say Detroit, Michigan. Anyways, neither here nor there. There's a new bridge that's being built from Detroit, Michigan to Windsor, Ontario. It's been built. It's built. Kumbaya. Love it. So great. Someone's not happy about it. Can you guess who that someone might be? Well, it's Donald Trump. And he's upset about it. He's posting late on Truth Social.
U.S. President Donald Trump is making a new threat against Canada tonight, taking aim at a new border crossing. The Gordie Howe Bridge will connect Windsor, Ontario and Detroit, and it's set to open this year. But Trump is threatening to block it, claiming the bridge was built with no American materials. The bridge was fully funded by Canada's federal government, but now Trump is demanding the U.S. be, quote, fully compensated.
Apparently Canadians really just took advantage of America here. We really just took advantage of America. So he's saying that Canada owns both sides of the bridge, and that Canada built it with no U.S. labor and no U.S. supplies or consent, which is just wrong. And our Prime Minister, Mark Carney, bless his little heart, called Donald Trump and told him that he's wrong.
We discussed the bridge. I explained that Canada, of course, paid for the construction of the bridge, over $4 billion, that the ownership is shared between the state of Michigan and the government of Canada, and that in the construction of the bridge, obviously there's Canadian steel, Canadian workers, but also U.S. steel, U.S. workers that are involved. This is a great example of cooperation between our countries. Look forward to it opening. And what is particularly important, of course, is the commerce and the tourism and the voyages of Canadians and Americans that will go across that bridge. So the conversation turned to a series of issues that we will raise and we're going to follow up on. I'm not going to go into detail on those issues. These would be specific issues in parallel to the CUSMA negotiations. Final point is the President asked appropriately that his ambassador, who's from Michigan, of course, play a role in smoothing the conversation in and around the bridge. So it was a positive conversation.
Also in this Truth Social rant, Donald Trump claimed that China is going to cancel all ice hockey. Hockey, you can just call it hockey. I don't think that's how that works. Now, before Trump posted this about the bridge in Canada and how we fucked y'all over, Howard Nutlick, the guy who used his kids as bait to get invited to Jeffrey Epstein's island, Pedo Island, for lunch. That's my opinion. I think he used his kids as bait. Just want to clarify that.
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children. And we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children.
So yeah, he met with a Republican donor who owns a competing bridge in the area, and this guy is upset because if this new bridge opens, then the money he makes off his bridge with the tolls and shit, he's gonna lose money. I'm just crying for you, buddy. Get a fucking job. But for the United States at the moment, this is how business is kind of done. That's kind of how it's kind of being reported. Like, oh, this is how shit is done in the Trump, it's all corruption. It's all, and like it is, obviously. But also, it's just a huge fucking distraction from the Epstein files. Can we just say that's what this is? Like, it's my opinion that Howard Nutlick just literally probably screamed out into the wild world and was like, yo, anybody have anything for me that I can get people talking about something else rather than the fact that I used my kids as bait to go to a pedophile's island?
And we left with all of my children.
Anybody? Anybody got anything? And this fucking bridge owner probably called him up and was like, yo, this is happening. I spent a lot of money on Trump's campaign. Can you help me out? And then Trump was like, yeah, that's a really good distraction from, you know, me being in the Epstien files / the Trump files. So yeah, Canada had to endure yet another attack from an orange Cheeto. And just the fact that, like, we've never seen his face. Does that not bother anybody? We've never seen his real face. He always has like 3 layers of fucking spray tan makeup just caked onto his face. We've never seen his real face. I don't know what that man looks like. You know what I mean? It's kind of wild. So that's kind of what I think is happening on the bridge situation. It's just another distract us. Look over here, look over here. We're not protecting a cabal of pedophiles. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what the word cabal means. But I used it. Anyways, moving on to the next topic. This one makes me a little angry. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm having a little hard time digesting this one. Neil Patrick Harris was at an event. Eugene, it would be great if you weren't barking at the moment. Dad's about to get really mad at Neil Patrick Harris, and we don't need you barking at the strangers in the hallway. Other people live on this floor. Anyways. Love Neil Patrick Harris, but we're reevaluating that love. I'm going to play you a clip. He was at a screening of his upcoming film, Sunny Dancer. I'm not sure what film festival this was for, but a reporter asked him a question about political art. Let's take a look at the clip, shall we?
I have a question to the director, George, and maybe Neil or Bella. I was wondering if you guys consider your art political, and if so, how can movies these days help fight the rise of fascism in Europe and America?
Well, I think we live in a strangely algorithmic and divided world right now. And so as artists, I'm always interested in doing things that are apolitical, because we're all, as humans, wanting to connect in some way. That's why we experience things together. And so when you get to go to a film where you're caring about the people, you're caring about the heart of what's happening. You know, you're watching this film of these young adults growing up under the umbrella of a world where some of them won't. And I think that is so touching and also kind of exciting and rebellious and horny. And like, it's fun to be able to witness that without having to process it through a contemporary lens, right? It is so current and yet timeless. So
shame on you. This literally enrages me. You have people dying in your fucking streets. Fascism is at your doorstep, and you have the gall to sit there and try and say that you're doing things that are apolitical. Your entire life is political, dude. Every fucking year when I have to open my Instagram and see your goddamn fucking pictures with your stupid little kids in Halloween costumes. That is political. That is literally political, bro. Take a fucking stand. You're still gonna be a millionaire. Wow. What a coward. What a fucking coward. Literally, like, this enrages me. You're a gay man. Shame on you. Like, what? I'm always interested in doing things that are apolitical. There's no such thing. This whole film about that's political! Wow, dude. Shame on you. Oh, I always like Neil Patrick Harris, but holy shit. Some of the comments on the video. It's 2026. If your art is apolitical, you are a fascist collaborator. Could not agree with you more. Sorry, buddy, but living as an out gay man, your existence is political. That's what I fucking think, too. I'm wearing Armani today, so please don't ruin my day with your little concerns about fascism. Yeah. This was really disappointing for Neil Patrick Harris. Like, I'm actually quite heartbroken. Yeah. Eugene? Are you mad at Neil Patrick Harris? Hey! Are you mad at Neil Patrick Harris? I am too. Also, let me just say one more thing. This entire time that we're living in right now, if you're not willing to stand up and say anything about what's happening in the world, what's happening in the United States with Donald Trump being a full-blown fucking fascist and a dictator, an authoritarian, I think you've answered that age-old question that my generation was asked many times during fucking history class. What the fuck would you have done during World War II? Would you have hid Anne Frank? Would you have helped Jewish people? Or would you have been a fucking coward like Neil Patrick Harris is currently being? Alright guys, thanks for taking a moment with me today. If you like this video, please thumbs it up. Make sure you're subscribing. Share this video with your friends. And I will see you next time.